Hey up, evening. So I'm just, well, as per the title, I'm going to try and upgrade this old General Lee Dukes of Hazzard RC car. It's, oh, it gets in pieces. What is it? It's an old, sticker says 2005, but it's just a generic old school RC car, non-proportional, so steering's full lock, throttles on or off. But the body shell is quite nicely detailed. It's got rubber tyres, and when you press the button, which I've just dismantled, when you press the button, that's ace. So what I want to do is, it doesn't work anymore. Not too sure why, but it doesn't work. So I want to make it fully proportional. So I've got a cheap ESC from AliExpress. Wire that in. I'm going to put a servo in. I'm going to move all this, give it proper steering, put a receiver in. I'm going to run it off a lithium ion, 7-volt lithium ion. I'm going to have to keep all this and keep the speaker so it makes the sound. So I'm probably going to have to put in one of these adjustable voltage regulators to go from 7.4 down to 6. So there's 6 volts going to the circuit board, then the sound still works. So I'm just going to, there's also got some lights that don't work anymore, so I'm going to just desolder the wires, start to figure out what the hell I'm going to do. The motor's pretty simple, ESC's simple, the steering, mounting a servo. I could go to town and 3D print something, or I could just hot glue it. Not sure yet. So I'm going to put the camera down, do some tinkering, and I'll come back to you in a minute. Right, so a little while later, I've just done some tinkering. I've managed to remove one wire. I've now got, everything's a little bit loose. I've got the motor connected to the ESC, receiver, battery, remote. It turns out that the sound system only relies on 3 batteries, which is 4.5 volts, I think. So that is still working. Press the little button. So I'm hoping to move this across and have that there. And then, I don't want to do it, but I'm going to have to butcher this battery tray. And then that's going to have to sit inside there. And the receiver inside there, and that can just be loose. There's actually a lot of room under the shell. So that's that. Easy said than done. And then at the front, to the steering, I've taken out the little motor. This little thing. So I've got rid of that. And I just want to bodge in, really. Well, might do I 3D print a bracket? I don't know, we'll see. Servo hopefully just sit in there, and then just with a servo horn and a linkage, bolt it to this, and then easy peasy. So yeah, I'm going to carry on. I'll just show you. I've got a 7.2 volt lithium ion, which is technically like 8 volts when it's fully charged. 8.2 is it, something like that. Now I'll spin it up, and it's way quicker than it needs to be, way quicker, and I think that motor is not going to last long with that battery. So I need to jump on the internet. I think this can run 1S. So I think I should throttle this down to 1S to make that motor survive, or I could run it as it is, and when that motor burns out, buy a new motor. But anyway, let's get the rest of it working first. So with that setup, with that battery, it's going to be pretty damn wick, I think. It's probably going to destroy itself because it's going too fast, but anyway, that's where we are. Let's continue, and I'll be back in a minute. So this is the first draft, let's call it. So I pulled a little mini servo out of my box, and I've just sort of wedged it in there. It's just purely wedged in. Servo horn, some bits off of some spares from RC planes, and it works. Pretty good with that. So I'm actually just going to I'm going to glue the servo in and maybe use drill some holes and put a tie wrap. Hey. Oh, it earthed out. Yeah, so a bit of glue, a tie wrap, put a screw in there, cut this back. That's the steering done. And I'll actually just put it on the floor and give you a little demo. Let's see if we can do some one-handed driving. Sorry, the gauge is a tip. Ignore all the junk. Oh yeah, this is full speed. Ouch. Let's not do that anymore. Oh, brilliant. Let's put this back on the bench, stop messing. So what I've figured out is that I have a UBEC, which is the voltage regulator. Well, yeah. And what I can do is I can plug that into my battery and then plug that into the ESC, and it regulates it down to 5 volts, which you're probably not meant to do. That's probably not meant to handle that many amps, but that means I've only got maximum 5 volts going to the motor that I think was designed for less than 5 volts. So that's my solution. The motor should last a bit longer by using that. Right, okay, moving on. Let's mount this properly and figure out this battery box. Here we go. So we've got sound module working. I've soldered on a servo connector, and it turns out that running it on 5 volts, the BEC kicks out 5 volts, which works perfect for the soundboard. So that all works as it should. There's a little bit of interference coming through speaker, but perfect. That's working off the receiver now, and I have butchered it. Not proud of this. I've went in with soldering iron and melted it all, and it's a right mess. And then I learnt on this one that I could go in with some pliers. It's a little bit neater. Anyway, the battery now fits in there. The receiver is going to go that way around with the wires coming out the top, and then that way I can put this soundboard back on top like that, and then the battery tray will cover the receiver and the battery. So far so good. So I've got to the last job is to mount the on-off switch. So I'm going to mount the on-off switch, tidy all these wires, and then I'll be back in a second. There we go. As tidy as I can kind of get it for now. That's the switch for the sound. I've sort of hot glued in a few bits, but once the body's on, it'll all be covered up anyway. But yeah, all hooked away, all nice and tidy. Last job then is to solder on the LEDs, which I'm hoping accept 5 volts or 4.7. So I'm going to solder them straight to the soundboard, and then body on, and then we'll take it for a spin on the garage floor. There we go. Looking good. Give you a little test drive. The battery is practically flat, so I'll just do a few circles there. It's strange, it goes faster backwards. Faster backwards than it does forwards. Whoa. Anyway, bit of fun. Thanks for watching. I need you to, can you do a donut? You spin out.